welcome back to another video. The January box has just dropped through the letterbox and it is the 1st of 2026. So I'm excited. We did get an email saying that it would be slightly delayed, but it was worth the wait. So I'm really excited to see what's in here. Okay, let's take all this out. Oh, okay, we've had a bit of a leakage out of that bag, but we'll pop that there. Let's have a look at the featured artwork straight off the bat. Oh, look at this. A really graphic style snake. Oh, I like that. I really like that. Curious what this supply is. Featured artist is Tezija Kalinina. I'm so sorry if I've pronounced your name terribly wrong. She was born in a small town in Lithuania into a family of artists. She graduated from the Vilnius Academy of Arts with a master's degree. Very nice. Socials at the bottom there. Really like that. Really like that. Okay, let's have a look at the supplies. Okay, let's tip these out. So the sticker is a little snippet of the artwork. Very nice. The sweet looks like a hard boiled. Not sure what flavour that would be. I'll put a sweet rating up now. Okay, so let's go with the smaller supplies and then we'll finish on the big one. So we have a Pigma Micron 08. I do apologise, I've been making squash soup and my hands are stained with all the orange from it, so I do apologise. Anyway, so this is a Pigma Micron. So this is the staple of many inking artists, but this is in the size 08, so quite large in size. Very nice. We have the Kohinoor Versatile. Oh, I have one of these already. We received one of these a while ago in a ScrawlrBox and it was very fun to use. I really enjoyed sketching with this. And then we have the classic Sakura Jelly Roll in white. So again, a classic supply. There's always debate whether this is the best white jelly pen, but I'll let you decide in the comments what you prefer. And then lastly, we have some Marabou sketch marker graphics. So we have a chisel nib and a bullet nib. So these, I'm assuming, are alcohol-based markers. It does say alcohol-based there. So we have this lovely yellow colour. We have this green colour. There doesn't seem to be names. It's just got a number as the colour. So I'm excited to see what these actually come out like. We have orange, a brownie colour, blue, and then it looks like a bit of a cool grey there. So a really nice range of colours there. Interested to see what they are like. And then for the paper, we have an A5 marker paper, 10 sheets. Interesting. So I'm assuming that's, yeah, that thin kind of very smooth paper. So it lends well to alcohol markers. Okay, let's have a look in the Scrawlr zine. So we have the double page spread and the sweet is a lime flavoured hard boiled sweet. So I'll let you know what that's like. A little bit about the featured artist there. Gosh, look at her studio. Very nice. So this is very interesting artwork. I really like the style. Then we have some Scrawlr tips and things to try. And as always, I will read those through as we swatch. Look at this stained glass window effect. I like that. Then we have a little bit of artist's advice as well. The Scrawlr gallery from 2 boxes prior. So this was for the Golden Hour Scrawlr challenge when we received the 4 highlighters in more natural tones. It was a really interesting box. I really liked that. And there's some beautiful things. Look at that robin. Love that. And the trees, the light coming through the trees there. Wow. Oh, look at those mushrooms up there too. God, they had a hard choice this month. And then the 3 top Scrawlr 3. I am featured in this. I did know about this. They asked me if I could be featured. So I got in the top 3. I'm really pleased about that. There's definitely artwork on the previous page that 100% deserves to be up here as well. Oh, I'm really pleased with that. I really enjoyed it. And if you want to have your chance at being featured, hashtag Scrawlr Challenge or hashtag Scrawlr Challenge with the box number at the end as well. Both of those would be very good. And they've even linked to my YouTube video, which is really cool. I like that. Thank you so much. Then we have the Scrawlr Extra. This is about Chris that created ScrawlrBox. Amazing. And then the other Scrawlr Extra is Greener Creativity. January marks, for many of us, the chance for a fresh start. Very nice. And then our Scrawlr challenge is Citrus Serpent. So hence the lemon serpent for the Scrawlr challenge there. Interesting. I'm excited to try these colours, see what they are like. They're very nice. They're very citrus. They're very good for that. I'm excited to use the pencil and all the supplies together. And thank you again for featuring me. I really do appreciate it. Let's watch these supplies. Let's read those Scrawlr tips. And then let's see what we can come up with for Citrus Serpent. Okay, so straight off the bat, I actually saw on Facebook Scrawlr community page, which is the first I actually saw of it because I didn't read all of the tips, but having read the tips, it also makes sense. People were saying that they may have had their paper stuck in the pad the wrong way, and that the correct side of the paper should have a sheen to it, and this side stops the ink from bleeding through, and the wrong side is completely matte and allows the ink to bleed through. Now, just looking at my paper, my ink has gone through, and then I did a little dot with blue on the other side and it didn't go through, so I think I have actually used the wrong side of the paper because it's in the pad the wrong way. So just be aware of that if you haven't yet started to do any artwork for this challenge. But having said that, I'm still happy with the result. So going on to the actual swatching here, the colours were really lovely. As the Scrawlr tips say, it was a very limited palette. Working with a smaller, carefully chosen selection of colours helps your artwork feel more intentional and visually balanced. A limited palette encourages you to explore layering, blending and value changes rather than relying on lots of different hues. It also makes shading and colour harmony easier to control as the colours naturally relate to one another. It says create new colours, scribble your chosen colours onto a plastic surface because the ink won't soak in. You can then mix it, or you can mix directly on the page, but you've got to work fast. And then it kind of says maybe explore the effects of mark making with your pens, your white gel pen and the fine liner. Add shading and depth, layer up your markers and create that depth there with a lot of different shades. As you layer up alcohol markers, the beauty of them is it will always darken and darken but also blend in there, so it's really nice to play around with that. Then the deep dive was actually creating that kind of stained glass look, so I kind of replicated that to a degree and created my own design, and that's what you're watching here. I kind of created this little flower design and then lined it out and just made it look like a bit of a stained glass window. I did notice as I was doing it that I wasn't getting this kind of texture and almost like the ink sitting on top of the paper, which would then explain why the fact that my paper was the wrong way around, but it was fun nonetheless, and I do think this is a really nice little practice warm-up to do, and it's very relaxing. I quite enjoyed it. Now, in terms of the artwork, the challenge was Citrus Serpent. Now, it's a very, I think that's quite a pinned down challenge phrase, because usually they're a bit more open and you can interpret it how you wish. I feel like this is really is pushing you towards doing a snake or something citrus related, and I played around for a very long time finding references of snakes, references of citrus fruit, kind of trying to draw the snake sat on top of the citrus fruit, something like that, because I really wanted to do it in my own style and not go as graphic with it, but I was finding it really difficult to feel motivated with those prompts and kind of leaning into that side of things. So I did spend quite a long time just trying to really think through what was going to make me feel like doing Citrus Serpent. Now, I have settled on, I found a free reference photo on Pixabay, I think it was, of a snake. The snake itself was very green with yellowish scales on there, and I kind of took that reference and I basically just morphed it to have the colours I want. I went a little bit more graphic with the style because the pens weren't allowing. I wanted to do all the scales and everything like I usually would, quite a lot of detail, but I was finding it a bit difficult to do that with these supplies, so I had to adapt, and that's why I went a little bit more graphic with it and just started to layer things up. So you'll see that shortly, and I'll chime back in once that starts. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm using that lovely pencil, the Koh-i-Noor pencil, just to sketch out the serpent and the snake sat on a branch. It kind of looks very alien-esque at this point. I was trying to get in the kind of shapes rather than the shadows, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to just use the pencil to sketch it out, because I need to rub that out, because a pencil will smudge if you use the alcohol markers over the top. So I needed to rub out as much as possible. So it was basically me jotting out the shapes, where I wanted the shadows, where I wanted the highlights, and not going into so much actual shading with those. Once I finished that, I did rub it out, and then I went in with the yellow. Like I mentioned, my reference photo was very much lime green, and I know that's obviously a citrus fruit as well, but I really like the idea of having the yellows as a really nice highlight and using the greens almost like a shadow. So I went ahead and I just blocked out really rough just the yellow of the whole snake, just to really block out that colour. And then I actually went back over with that yellow. You can see all the darkest areas, and that's just me layering up that yellow once, maybe twice more, to get really dark shades. And then I went in with the bullet nip with the green and started to add in those shadows, but also add in texture by doing it in a line work type fashion. And I think that worked really well. It managed to kind of bring in almost a hint of what the scales would look like, where the scales would be, without having to spend hours and hours replicating each scale individually. And I think that worked really well. I was very rough with it. I wouldn't say this is the most polished piece of artwork I've ever done. That, you know, I'm colouring outside the lines, as they say, and it was very much expressive and more me trying to show you the shapes and the shadows rather than being really particular. And this is something that I've been mentioning in my vlogs of late, that I'm trying to just be a bit more loose with my artwork, to be more to use it almost as a practice rather than always trying to produce a polished piece. And this was a really perfect opportunity, and this is what alcohol markers are great at, is just being really suggestive, planning things out, and then you can use that as a reference almost to create a new piece of artwork in a lot more detail with maybe a different medium. That's how I use alcohol markers anyway, and it's just a really nice fun way of doing that. So once I'd done that with the green, I went on and did the branch as well. I used that warm, cool, I actually think it's a cool grey. I used the cool grey with the brown to create like a higher highlight area, and then the deep brown at the bottom. Again, I think I was hoping for it to be a bit streakier, but because I was using the wrong side of the paper, it wasn't quite working out how I wanted it. So here I added too much brown and it didn't blend at all. So I had to quickly do a few more layers on that, and it did darken the branch maybe a little bit more, but actually in the end I think it worked really well. And I just went ahead and layered those colours up. I then went in with that grey again to add some more shadows, because there wasn't enough shadow with that green. And again, I just used it like I did the green and did a lot of line work and just adding hints of shadow where it needed to be added. And then I went in with the liner and just started to flesh out some more line work. And again, I went very graphic on this. There's areas that maybe I could have been a little bit more intentional with my line work, but it kind of felt like everything was a bit scratchy and scrawlery, and I feel like that fit this theme quite well, and so I just heavily relied on that. As you can see, I'm not doing a really long line work along the edge. I'm always using it like I'm sketching, and I think that works really nicely. And I'm just adding lines in directions to mimic that that's a curved over piece, or it's a piece that's bent in on itself. And then I went back in with that grey over the top. Actually, I think this might be the green. I went back in with the green over the top of the pen because I hadn't let that pen dry too much, so I knew it would smudge a little bit and almost soften that line work and also make that green even darker. So I added that just where I really wanted some really darks to go. And then I finished off with the jelly roll, just adding those highlights. I did add these highlights, and then I went back over with the yellow and then added some more highlights on top just to create a more three-dimensional look. So that's my artwork. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.